Hello, everybody. Hope you had a great day. I had a great day myself. I'll be presenting the upcoming severe weather potential next week, brought to you by the GFS Ensembles and GFS models. So, as of right now, this is supposed to happen next week, March 10th through the 12th, mainly 11th through the 12th. So, here's the tornadic risk probability. So, in the light green, you have a 2% risk, and then in the dark brown, you have a 5% risk of a tornado occurring. Obviously, this will all change. This is still well over a week to a week and a half away. Then the damaging wind probabilities, marginal in the green, and the slight in the yellow. That's where yellow will hold the greatest risk for damaging wind gusts, and then in the marginal, if you see any damaging wind gusts, they'll probably only be to 60 miles per hour max, but that is still dangerous. And then hail doesn't really, as of right now, look to be that big of a threat as of right now. Like, would be out of the question for some of the strongest storms to contain some core-sized hail, but that's about the largest they may get. So here's my overall risk category. So the lime green, you have a general thunderstorm risk, so your typical regular everyday thunderstorm. And then in the marginal, that's where you could see an isolated severe thunderstorm risk, so maybe one or two within specific point. And then the slight is where you'll see slightly higher coverage of severe weather. And then I will show you this map. So as you can see here, let's get our pointer. These two arrows could indicate that the low pressure track could shift to the north or south, but the models have actually been really consistent with this. I mean, it is rare for them to ever be this consistent this far out. So you have the cold front here pushing in cold air, and then you have the warm front, which will cause some probably gusty southwesterly winds, which will bring in some warm, moist Gulf air, which could feed some of these thunderstorms. And if the low pressure track does shift even just the slightest bit to the north, there could be higher severe weather probabilities. So again, miles have been pretty consistent, like maybe a slight shift or two, but that's about it. And also, I want to show you the fact that the highs could get into the 50s, 60s, and even in some places, even the 70s with this warm front. It will be quite powerful. Then I'll be showing you the sounding analogs. This is for my village during the peak time. So northeast Wisconsin, this is what could pretty much look like. So here you have the storm Slinky. You'll notice that's in a slightly keeping like position. That means some degree of severe weather is possible. And then potential hazard type marginal severe, so not the strongest, but it's there. But then here you have the inverted V right here, this blue triangle. That is an indicator that some strong to damaging downburst winds, damaging winds are possible. And then the SAR sounding analog system, in which, for those of you who don't know what it is, all it is that it takes historical records and compares with what the model is forecasting, and then it outputs the data that would match most with what has happened in the past. So as you can see here, supercell 27 loose matches, in which would predict a 52% probability that if there were to be any supercells, it would produce a tornado. Although if any were to be produced, probably only EF0 or EF1, but that's still dangerous. And then here's one here. Fits into cooperate. Then in Kansas at its peak, again, inverted V, so damaging winds likely. This time, weak tornado. Storm slinking is in curve, but the 118 loose matches and 55% probability of any supercells producing a tornado. And